All right, so we're going to go through a variation of Pails Rails that's somewhere in between maybe somebody lying on their back and trying to do some Pail Rails to try to get internal rotation and the 90-90 position. So this is for somebody that maybe has like 5-10-ish degrees of internal rotation. So put them in a position where they can actually gain hip range of motion and not put them in so much of a progressed state. So all you need is, you can use yoga blocks, you can use pillows, couch, med ball, something like that that's going to actually elevate your leg. Little towel between your knees, or you could use a yoga block between your knees for a setup. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the towel between the knees. We'll start in this sideline position. The leg that I'm going to be gaining the internal rotation is going to be with the top leg, and the down leg is going to be forward. So I'm going to elevate the foot. So I'm in pretty much a 90-degree-ish angle. If you do get like pinching or anything like that, you can straighten out the leg a little bit more because you shouldn't feel any pinching in the kind of top or inside part of the hip. So what we're going to do is we're going to think almost as if like underneath my top foot is like a scale, and I'm going to slowly start to make that scale heavier as I go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pushing into the yoga block at like 10%, and then I'm going to build up to about 30%. And I should be feeling like the side of my hip is pushing into the block. I'm up to 75%. All right, now I'm pushing into the block at 100%. I'm going to hold that for 10 seconds. Holding it, holding it, holding it. 5 more seconds. Then after this 5 seconds, I'm going to suck some air in, try to solidify the core as I'm going to start to lift off the leg. So I'm going to breathe in, and then I'm going to lift off. And I'm going to try to hold that for 10 seconds. Sometimes you will get cramping here as I feel like I'm almost going to cramp, but just breathe through it. 3, 2, and slowly drop it down. And we're going to continue to breathe in this position. So I'm going to go inhale, long exhale. And as I'm exhaling, kind of this TFL muscle was kind of crampy. Just feel like I'm exhaling and kind of relaxing that part. We'll go through 2 more breaths. And as I'm exhaling, this leg's just kind of relaxing a little bit more. If you do lift the leg on that lift off and you do get a cramping in the top part of the hip, that's normal. Just sometimes maybe just use a little bit less effort to get a less TFL for that. Okay, so now I'm going to start again with my pails again. So I'm going to again push into the block. But I'm thinking about my leg almost like doing that external rotation. Like I'm feeling like my leg's doing that. So I'm going to build up. I'm at 20%. And I'm up to 50%. 75. And at 100, I'm going to hold that for 10 seconds. Should feel the side, basically hip working. Deep glutes working. Hold that for a couple more seconds, then I'm going to start my rails. So I'm going to breath in. And then lift off, holding for 10 seconds. Three, 2, and slowly drop it down. I'm going to do 5 breaths. And what you want to make sure you're doing whenever you do lift that foot is if I have my hand on my pelvis, I'm not hip hiking to get height. this is staying the same height. I'm not kind of hiking the hip, I'm not side bending. So you want to feel like you're separating this thigh or this femur from your pelvis whenever you're lifting. Okay, then we're going to flip over to the other side. Okay, now you can obviously make them taller or higher if you have more of that internal rotation, but we want to start, if we only have 5 degrees, we don't want to start you with like 25 degrees because that's not what you actually have. So I have a little bit less on my right side than the left side, as you'll probably see when I lift off. But I'm just going to start here. So this is probably, I could probably go a little higher, but just this is kind of more for people that either don't have a lot of hip internal rotation or there's a big gap between their active and their passive hip range of motion. So from here, I'm going to push into the box 25%. And 50%, feeling the side hip, 75. And then I'm up to 100. I'm going to hold that contraction for 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Breath in. And lift up. And I'm not hip hiking, just trying to hold. 3, 2, and slow. Starting to get crampy. Just good. And I'm going to go 5 breaths. So in this position, you can go more than 5 breaths, but just a little bit of a quicker session. Exhale, just kind of letting that relax. All right, now I'm going to start back up, 25%. Now you don't always have to build up to 100%. You can say from 30 to 50%. You don't always have to build up to 100%. All right, so build up to 50, 75, and we're at 100, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and breath in. Lift off. If you do get cramping, you can come down there, reset again, try again. 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly drop it down. And then we're going to go 5 breaths in this position. That's your Pails Rails from the sideline position.